I'd like to invite now Reverend Eric Thompson to come up and speak a few words.
Definitions mean something, and especially in a day where everything we see is in a chaotic state because of the interchangeable nature of definitions and even interpretations. It becomes vitally important because if we have something sturdy to hold on to in the times of turmoil and despair. We stand here today to speak united against the war that has been waged against traditional marriage. Addressing our Supreme Court justices, imploring them to reconsider just what is happening in our society and the imminent ramifications of their decisions, and also to beseech them not to impose same-sex marriage by judicial fiat.
Hooray, amen.
It's important for them to know that this culture war is not just against the religious or unreligious. It's not just against white, Hispanic, black, or any other ethnic group. It is against educated and uneducated individuals. It's against the rich and the poor. It's against Republicans and Democrats, independents, and even unaffiliated alike. This war will affect religious liberties, personal liberties, as well as the liberties of our most precious asset. It's our children. This culture war that has been waged is waged against a definition, and that definition must be protected. The word subjected to this definition war is marriage. Supreme Court, you would be redefining a norm. Where does that leave us? The definition of marriage outdates this nation's existence and even outdates this state in particular. It would be unnecessary to mention that the DNA of marriage predates to the beginnings of civilization and has withstood the test of time, even with its dysfunctions. I guess it would also be unnecessary to mention that there's a direct benefit to children born into committed monogamous relationships with both a married mommy and even a daddy. The bottom line is that you, as the Supreme Court, should not oppose this action upon the people of the state of Connecticut, because the ripple effect of such a decision will affect the state's future generations, our posterity. In your giving of rights, what happens to ours? In your giving of rights, what's left? Not just from a religious standpoint, but also the economic and social components that have manifested in other parts of our nation. Furthermore, before the courts enter Connecticut any deeper into this culture war being waged, we must consider the casualties of past battles. In other words, if you want empirical data supporting the need for the protection of traditional marriage, here are some examples. Consider the Massachusetts model, our northern neighbor whose steps it appears in my mind that we're following to some degree. Look at the Catholic Charities of Boston, who were forced because of religious convictions to leave the adoption business due directly to the imposition of same-sex marriage. Let's also look at the humble gentleman by the name of David Parker, a concerned parent in Lexington, Massachusetts, who was arrested for trespassing on his children's school to protect and to protest curriculum which denied his family's personal religious freedoms. Let's look at Canada, where ministers of the gospel have been persecuted for hate speech due to what they have said in sermons. Have you considered Sweden, where civil unions led to hate crimes and hate crime legislation that had eventually led to the arrest of a pastor who was preaching about homosexuality? Supreme Court justices, protect and defend traditional marriage. Let the people decide. Let the people decide. This is our state. Let the people decide.